Welcome to PlayPianoTODAY.com. This is Blues and Jazz for Piano and Keyboard, Chapter 17. Hi, my name is David Sprunger with PlayPianoTODAY.com. Welcome to a brand new lesson today with a new focus. Today we're talking about a powerful technique for your hands called muscle memory. Now, if you check out my other lessons, you'll see that I talk a lot about chords and chord voicings and how music is put together. And the truth is, it's best to first get a solid foundational understanding of music. That way you can be creative and do anything you want on the keyboard. But today we're going to go further. We're going to talk about muscle memory. Now, muscle memory is real simple. It's teaching your hands to play chords and fills on the keyboard without having to think about it. That's why it's so powerful. Let me give you an example where muscle memory might be really helpful. Let's say you're playing in a musical situation and you find that you're way over your head. For instance, you're playing with a band and the tempo is really fast, and you're playing a lot of chords that you don't know well and you don't know the song well. And in that situation, you want to play well, right? Everyone does. Are you going to have time to figure out, I wonder which chord voicings are going to sound just right for each chord? No. Are you going to have time to figure out which blues riff or which fill on the keyboard is going to sound the best? Probably not. This is where muscle memory comes to the rescue. Now, how do you train using muscle memory? It has to do with something called musical templates and repetition. Now, musical templates are nothing more than pictures of chord shapes and fills. And these pictures are then laid behind the keys, and you can see exactly where your hands are supposed to be. And the great thing about templates is that when you move them up or down the keyboard, the shapes remain identically the same. Now, your fingering may change, and I'm going to show you how to deal with that, but the shapes remain identical. Just for a second, let me jump way ahead in this lesson. I'll play a couple seconds of video from the spot in the lesson where we're actually using and playing some of these advanced templates. I just want you to see and hear them in action. Then we'll spend the rest of this video explaining how you can use them to bring muscle memory to your hands. Here's a spot where we're using template number 7 in this lesson. Notice in this clip that the notes I play in my left hand show up on the template. Nice. Let's jump ahead now to one of the minor templates, template number 11 from this lesson. Templates are so powerful to be able to get muscle memory into your hands so you can get some of these sounds out of the keyboard. Now let's dig into the section of the video from the lesson where we're explaining how to use these templates. One of the great things about using the blues to show examples of chords and such is that you can play the blues very simply using just the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord of any key. For instance, in the key of C, the 1 chord is built on the first note of the scale, right? Or the 1 of the scale. The 4 chord is built on, you guessed it, the 4th note of the scale. And it's F major. And the 5 chord is G major, okay? So you can play the blues very simply using just the 1, the 4, and the 5 chords. Now let's toss one of these templates up on the keyboard and you can see how we can use them with the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord.
Okay, this is template number 6 from this lesson. Notice that I've slid this template into place so the line is directly above the note C, because I want to use this in the key of C. So let's start by playing the notes from the 1 chord of C. You simply play the notes that line up with the blue notes on the template. Now you're probably noticing, wait a minute, those aren't the 1 chord notes from C. They don't match what you just played a moment ago. You're right. A moment ago I played this, but the template is saying to play this. Now, if this is review again for you, indulge me for just a minute. But the reason is, the template is including higher notes from the scale. And if this was a lesson on deep theory, we'd study what those higher notes were. And we do that in a lot of our lessons. But this is a lesson on muscle memory. So we're just getting your hands used to playing those shapes. How about the notes from the 4 chord? Just play the notes that line up with the green notes on the template. Okay, how about the notes from the 5 chord in the scale of C? It's the red notes. Right? So now you can simply use this template to play through the blues. Here's the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. Now here comes the beauty of templates. Slide that baby down to, how about the key of B flat? So now, to get these chord shapes into the muscle memory of your hands for the scale of B flat, you simply play the blue notes for the 1 chord. Right? Now the green notes for the 4 chord. Red notes for the 5 chord. Now this gets really fun when you get to the end of this lesson and you're doing advanced jazz chords with altered notes and higher chord extensions. Here's how to practice all this stuff and get really good with it. This lesson, Chapter 17, includes many different audio files. These are practice tracks or play-along tracks. These tracks have been professionally recorded in every key, so that just like you saw me do a moment ago, you can turn these tracks on and listen to the band playing through the blues. And as you do that, you get on your keyboard and you get these templates out and you practice these different chord shapes in every key. And you'll find that soon you'll be able to play these chord shapes in any key with no problem because you don't have to think about it. Now the templates, they come as a printable file with this lesson. You simply print them out and they'll slide right behind the keys of your keyboard as you're practicing these chord shapes. This lesson also contains a pretty extensive section on what to do with your right hand while your left hand is playing all these chord shapes. Here's some video from that section. It's a standard G blues scale, and again you can study that in Chapter 11. But we studied many different kinds of blues scales. For instance, the turnaround blues scale. Watch this. You'll see this scale turn around as it goes up and down. Those are just 2 of the blues scales we studied in Chapter 11. As my right hand plays, I'm also playing a lot of... So let's start very simply. What if you played template number 9, key of G, just like we finished doing on the video, but with your right hand you just started very simply playing the blues scale from the key that you're in. Remember, we were playing in the key of G with this template number 9. So I will simply play the G blues scale, and I'll play it over every chord. That's the beautiful thing about blues scales, is that you can use them over so many chords. For instance, over the 1 chord, here comes the 4 chord. Sounds okay. And then over the 5 chord, it still works. Fights a little bit, but it's kind of cool. It really works nicely over the 1 chord. And the 4 chord, or if you do the big turnaround scale, that's nice. And then over the 5 chord, it fights a little bit, doesn't it? But it really makes for a nice kind of dirty blues sound. But here's another option. And now just for fun, let's play template number 9 again, key of G, including the push chord that we just studied. And then with your right hand, let's say you learned all the blues scales from Chapter 11 and all the blues riffs from previous chapters and you threw it all together. You might get something like this.
Well, I hope you're getting excited about the powerful concept of using templates to get these chord shapes into the muscle memory of your hands. You can find the whole lesson at PlayPianoTODAY.com /B17.